Ezra Chapter 2. The exiles who returned. These now are the people of the province who came from those captive exiles King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon had deported to Babylon. They returned to Jerusalem and Judah, each to his own town. They came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Realiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mizpar, Bigvaiah, Rehum, and Baanah. The number of the Israelite men included Parashah's descendants, 2,172. Shephatiah's descendants, 372. Aral's descendants, 775. Pahath Moab's descendants, Jeshua's and Joab's descendants, 2,812. Elam's descendants, 1,254. Zattu's descendants, 945. Zechariah's descendants, 760. Bani's descendants, 642. Babiah's descendants, 623. Azgad's descendants, 1,222. Adonikam's descendants, 666. Bigvaiah's descendants, 2,056. Adin's descendants, 454. Atir's descendants of Hezekiah, 98. Baziah's descendants, 323. Jorah's descendants, 112. Hashum's descendants, 223. Gebar's descendants, 95. Bethlehem's people, 123. Netophath's men, 56. Anathoth's men, 128. Asmaveth's people, 42. Kiriath-jearim's, Shaphirah's, and Beeroth's people, 743. Ramah's and Gebah's people, 621. Michmash's men, 122. Bethel's and Aiah's men, 223. Nebo's people, 52. Magbish's people, 156. The other Elam's people, 1,254. Harim's people, 320. Lod's, Hadad's, and Ono's people, 725. Jericho's people, 345. Sanah's people, 3,630. The priests included Jediah's descendants of the house of Jeshua, 973. Immer's descendants, 1,052. Pashur's descendants, 1,247. And Harim's descendants, 1,017. The Levites included Jeshua's and Kadmiel's descendants from Hodaviah's descendants, 74. The singers included Asaph's descendants, 128. The gatekeepers' descendants included Shallum's descendants, Atir's descendants, Talmon's descendants, Akub's descendants, Hatita's descendants, Shobiah's descendants, in all 139. The temple servants included Zihah's descendants, Hashupha's descendants, Tabaoth's descendants, Karas's descendants, Siah's descendants, Padon's descendants, Lebanon's descendants, Hagabah's descendants, Akub's descendants, Hagab's descendants, Shalmaiah's descendants, Hanan's descendants, Gedel's descendants, Gehar's descendants, Reiah's descendants, Rezin's descendants, Nekodah's descendants, Gazam's descendants, Uzah's descendants, Paseah's descendants, Basiah's descendants, Asnah's descendants, Meunim's descendants, Nephusim's descendants, Bakbuk's descendants, Hakupha's descendants, Harher's descendants, Baslish's descendants, Mehida's descendants, Harshah's descendants, Barkoz's descendants, Sisera's descendants, Tamah's descendants, Neziah's descendants, and Hatipha's descendants. The descendants of Solomon's servants included Sotiah's descendants, Hasophereth's descendants, Perudah's descendants, Jalah's descendants, Darkon's descendants, Gedel's descendants, Shephatiah's descendants, Hatiel's descendants, Pakurath Hezebaim's descendants, and Ami's descendants. all the temple servants, and the descendants of Solomon's servants, 392. The following are those who came from Telmaiah, Tel-Harsha, Cherub, Adan, and Immer, but were unable to prove that their families and ancestry were Israelite. Delaiah's descendants, Tobiah's descendants, Nekodah's descendants, 652. And from the descendants of the priests, the descendants of Hobiah, the descendants of Hakaz, the descendants of Parzaliah, who had taken a wife from the daughters of Barzillai the Gileadite and was called by their name. These searched for their entries in the genealogical records, but they could not be found, so they were disqualified from the priesthood. The governor ordered them not to eat the most holy things until there was a priest who could consult the Urim and Thummim. The whole combined assembly numbered 42,360, not including their 7,337 male and female slaves and their 200 male and female singers. They had 736 horses, 245 mules, 435 camels, and 6,720 donkeys. Gifts for the work. After they arrived at the Lord's house in Jerusalem, some of the family leaders gave free will offerings for the house of God in order to have it rebuilt on its original site. Based on what they could give, they gave 61,000 gold coins, 6,250 pounds of silver, and 100 priestly garments to the treasury for the project. The priests, Levites, singers, gatekeepers, temple servants, and some of the people settled in their towns, and the rest of Israel settled in their towns.